Hey everybody, Silveus here, doing a little bit more of RPG shooter Starwish. This game continues to have amazing audio. Hey there, Ginny. So what's new? This morning I got burned a bit from torching, and had to go to sickbay. You know, I've been meaning to ask about all those scrapes and bandages on you. Are you by any chance really clumsy? Of course not. Well, okay, maybe a little. Then I don't trust you, but don't you need a steady hand to work in engineering? As long as you make the tools do the work for you, even a klutz like me can do the job well. Besides, most of my injuries occur outside of work. That's not very reassuring. No, it's really not. Don't worry about me, I assure you I'm well. Oh, I never noticed she at least blinks. Let's see. Well, actually it was the ship I was worried about. Humph. So what's Tessa say when you went to sickbay? She always screaming my head off whenever I get hurt. This Tessa was most professional. She tended my wounds and sent me on my way. However, she seemed a little irritated about something. It seems a friend of hers continuously ignores her medical advice, going off to do dangerous activities and getting himself hurt. Huh, must be Swig or something. He likes to drink and fire guns. Close, but not quite. Oh, Tessa and I thought about going shopping together soon. Did you want to come along? Oh man, no thanks. I don't look forward to hours of walking around holding items. And you call yourself a man. No, I just don't call myself a baggage carrier. Same thing. By the way, this is why I don't go shopping with females either. I get it, and I know this is gonna sound like cliche and everything, but like, how long can we stand in the clothing department of like a store? I lose any sense of time. You just sit there and it goes on and 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 on. And then it's like, which shirt looks better? Dude, I don't know. One's green with 2 buttons, one's blue with 1 button, and one's red with no buttons. I don't know. I don't have a preference on the colors or buttons. And then they say things like... This is mostly my aunt, by the way. I used to go shopping with her a lot. And she's real into, like, fashion and stuff like that. So she's like, well, these are, like, good spring colors. I'm like, oh, I have no idea what that means. Like... Apparently, though, you can only wear certain colors during certain seasons or something like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever. Alright. Can a baggage carrier do this? I lifted a heavy bag that was next to the table. Yes, I'd wager that they can indeed do that. I knew you'd be perfect. Ginny dragged me along to go shopping with Tessa. I needed to shut my mouth sometimes. Indeed. Let's talk to Johnny. So what made you decide to become a chef and bartender? I like gabbing me mouth off, I like cooking, I like mixing drinks, why not combine all 3? You also manage communications on the bridge. Seems like you have a lot of responsibilities. Nah, it's easier than it looks. This is kind of out of the blue, but what do you think of Deadeye? Little scientist? I never took you for such a young skirt chaser. No, I'm not. I just wanted your opinion. Well, she's certainly a strange one by anyone's standards, but she's a lot more level-headed than half the crew. As dangerous as her experiments are, she's always watching out for her test subjects. Do you know what really happened to her eye? That's something you should ask her yourself. Yeah, I know. I was wondering if she told you. She's mighty secretive about it. I'm guessing she won't tell anyone unless she really likes that person. I wonder if there's anything I can do for her. Deadeye seems to enjoy people trying out her weapons. It's sort of an adventurous pride thing. Ah, thanks, Johnny. I'll keep that in mind. Ask Johnny time. Consider talking to the others once in a while. You may get some new insights to change your destiny. Geez, that's kind of a roundabout way to say pike off. I didn't mean it like that. Oh, well. Mr. Deuce, good to see you! I got another mod ready for you. These are shield regeneration mods. Each mod installed adds 1 per second to your shield regeneration rate, stacked with your own regen stat. For the most part, shields are best suited to absorb the occasional shot. The best defense is still not to get hit. Regen mods don't max out, it looks like. What do we got? Ooh, a level 16 laser? What's my laser? 13? I'll stick to what I have, I think. I'll buy modules for now. Let's get back to the hangar. Alright, I'm out of money. They really increase in price fast. Frozen Tundra. Got that turn mouse control back on. There we go. It's an icicle. So that little bit of lag probably wasn't the game's fault. I'm also, if you look to the side here on my little panel I have, you'll see where it says like last game, Exile 3, Ruined World, like part 4 or something along those lines. Yeah, I'm currently in the process of uploading that. And for whatever reason, well, I mean, it is a big file. I think it was like an hour and some minutes long. But for whatever reason, those files are massive. It's like 3 gigs. And I mention this, of course, because that file is going to be uploading for a while, and it's... My internet provider kind of sucks at their job, just for the record. So, it's not really handling the upload well. Come to think of it, I have Verizon right now, and I used to have Comcast, and I know Comcast gets a lot of flack in the media. Nobody likes Comcast. But I have always found Comcast to be, like, really good service provider. It's like a new game for everybody to badmouth Comcast, but I don't know. I've always, every time I had to, like, interact with their customer service, I had no problems with their customer service. I always found them to be extraordinarily helpful. I found them to be polite. When I canceled my service to switch to Verizon, and the reason I switched to Verizon was because Verizon was giving me, like a bonus deal thing. That was a much better deal than Comcast was giving me. To be fair, it was like a limited edition thing, so, like, not to nag on Comcast pricing either, but I called them and I said, hey, I need to switch my or I need to cancel my service, and they were like, oh, well, why? And I was like, because I do. I didn't want to say I was going to somebody else. So I said something about, like, oh yeah, I'm, like, moving or something like that. And they were like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. They canceled my service. The whole process of canceling my service took, I don't know, less than 5 minutes. They didn't give me a hard time. They didn't refuse to cancel my service. They didn't, like, you know, call me names or anything like that. It was a very simple and easy process. However, they did ask me that I send back all of my equipment, and I totally forgot to send all of my equipment back. Wow, I'm really laggy here. Forget the XP. I did forget to send all of my equipment back for, like, 8 months. And they must have called me like 10 times asking for that stuff back, and I just ignored them. And then eventually they did send me to a collection agency. And then you know what? I finally took the stuff back. I waited in line for maybe 15 minutes at their little Comcast, like, return center. Called Comcast, told them I returned the stuff. Called the collection agency, told them I returned the stuff. Everybody was super helpful again. The collection agency where people were, like, super nice. They told me to call Comcast back and get some kind of, like, number. I called Comcast back, told them the situation again, got the number immediately, called the collection agency back, gave them the number. The whole process, once I actually took care of taking the stuff back, was finished in maybe 30 minutes max. Very simple. Huh. Everybody, the captain's gone from the bridge again. Oh, that's right. We have a day devoted to rest and relaxation once a month. Too much working is bad for health. I see you're busy working. Isn't that against policy? Yes, well, consider this a leisurely pursuit. I wanted some time to study the star fragments by myself. Anything new to report? Actually, perhaps you can help me. Ask me something that hasn't happened yet. Okay. What will be the outcome of the Galactic Grand Prix this year? Yes, it's a close one. Ah, that'll be a good race. Well? Good, now ask me something about your future. Hey, what about the outcome? I know you plan to place a bet, Commander. I'm afraid I will not aid you in that pursuit. Oh, you're no fun. Alright, let me think here. Who do I end up married with? Ah, fascinating question indeed. Odd, I cannot see anyone in your future. So I'll be a bachelor for the rest of my days? No, not that. I cannot see that aspect of your future for some reason. Well, that's disconcerting. So, what was the point of all this? It is strange. I see some things with great clarity and others are clouded. I have a terrible feeling that something bad is about to happen, but I cannot see what it is. It's as though something is interfering with events on such a large scale that it's unnatural. What does that mean for us? I'm afraid your guess is as good as mine. Well, okay, I'm gonna go stop by the cafe for lunch. I'm starving. Of course, at ease, Commander. I stopped by the cafe, but like the rest of the ship, it was mostly empty. Most of the crew spent R&R days in their quarters. What's that? Appears that the Federation has finished their affairs in uncharted space. However, during the return journey, the Earthwall altered its course to an unknown destination. The Feds have been awfully secretive lately. We used to be able to get all their movements just from the news. Deuce Hud, I'm surprised to see you here. Oh, it's you, Deadeye. Don't you have some friends or family to hang out with? You sound like you want to get rid of me. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. You should take time off like the rest of the crew. Meh, I don't honor this day. It's a waste of time. Everyone needs a break, even you. Very well, then allow me to demonstrate my new cooking skills. No way, I'm out of here. You always seem to leave before you get a chance to eat. I didn't even get a chance to tell him about the new weapon. As I returned to my quarters, I thought about my place on the ship. I was second in command of the mothership, whereas Oracle was the woman with the plan. I was the one who carried them out. I often flew missions in my fighter, whether it was raiding, salvaging, or scouting. I wasn't a big fan of the Federation. I understood the need for an organized, unified government body, but somewhere along the lines, the Fed started abusing their powers. Everything needed a license. Corporations monopolized everything. There was no competition. To protect their interests, the Federation began to militarize and basically forced others into submission. With the prices fixed and the markets cornered, only the wealthy could actually afford to do anything. That certainly didn't help my parents, who were simple, lower-class Federation space colonists. My parents were good friends with Tessa's parents, which is how I knew Tessa. When our unprofitable colony was marked for scrapping, my parents died in a Federation protest when I was 5. I was entrusted to Tessa's parents afterwards to live on the research station. I could barely remember my parents' faces anymore. I hated the Federation for taking everything away from me. But Oracle always reminded me not to seek revenge. I did my best to live up to our expectations, but I wasn't sure how long I could restrain myself. Well, to give me one more second to rant about Comcast's unfair characterization, I'll call it, in the media. So yeah, they were super helpful when I had to cancel my stuff. And also, whenever I had to call for, like, tech support. I remember one time I was watching a boxing match, actually, on demand. And for some reason, my cable box would just keep, like, turning itself off and resetting itself. So I'd have to turn it back on, and then it would take, like, maybe 5 minutes to reboot. I'd get the boxing match going again, and then 5 minutes later, it happened again. And it was really obnoxious. So I called him at, like, 11:30 at night, and was like, hey, it keeps, like, resetting itself. And I have my TV in the corner, and right next to it was, like, my air conditioner. So while they're telling me what to do, I had to, like, turn off my AC so I could, like, hear what the guy's saying on the phone. So, you know, I'm like, it's hot. He's having me reset it. I'm kind of irritated that my AC's off. This is back when I had a window unit, by the way. So, you know, he resets it. Yeah, watching it, it's not cutting out anymore. The problems seem to be fine. So I tell the guy, like, everything's fixed. You know, the guy was super polite. I know it's like a cliche thing to complain about, like, tech support people being in other countries and not being able to understand them. But to be fair, when somebody's like, go to the command prompt and type in executable 5732 and then check your RAM or something like that, when you can't understand what they're saying, it's kind of a problem. Luckily, the Comcast guy was based out of Portland, Oregon. We were actually talking about the various weather. I was saying how it was hot and humid, and he was saying how it was rainy. And I was saying how I wished it was rainy and cool where I was at. Anyway, though. So, you know, guys really played and everything. So I go back to watching my boxing match. I'm going to just do another run on, I don't know, the Coral Ocean for right now. Get some EXP. So, you know, I say to the guy, or I start watching my boxing match. And then the same thing keeps happening. So I'm like, oh, yo, what the heck? So, you know, I call him again. And the lady I talked to this time is like, oh, I see you called about this exact problem yesterday. And I look at the clock because I'm like, I didn't call yesterday. I called like 20 minutes ago. I called it like 11:30 that night, right? And when I called back, it was like 1 o'clock. Hence a day change. So, according to her, I had called, you know, a day ago. Technically, I guess I did. So she's like, you know, since you have the same problem, we'll get like a technician out there to help solve your problem. They had a technician out to my house to, you know, try to fix my thing the next day at noontime. That said, as it turned out, the problem was my air conditioner and the wiring in my house was a piece of crap. So every time the compressor in my air conditioner would kick on, it would draw enough power from my house that the Comcast cable box would run out of energy and, like, momentarily short out. Which is why when I turned off my air conditioner so I could hear what the guy was saying, the problem went away. See, it was a silly whoopsies moment, but those kind of things, I guess, happen. Must kill everything, although I did already fail to kill a whole bunch of things. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's fair. I don't think the like the reputation Comcast gets in the media is fair. I've always been really happy with them. Now, I mean, of course, they may have been a little pricey. I don't even really know about that. But every time I was forced to interact with them for any reason, I always found them to be polite and helpful. Not at all like some people would say. Also, I can't believe I missed both of those. Oh well, they were only shield upgrades, so I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, I ate that one in the face. You know, I have a lot of, like, comradeship, almost, with people who work in customer service. Because, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but, you know, I used to work in a grocery store. I was actually a supervisor. Hold on. Before I get into my supervisor grocery store days, let's go to the cafe and talk to Mar. I didn't know why I was so persistent. Yet again, I attempted to strike up a conversation with Mar. Dot 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 dot. Nice suit you got there. I could feel Mare's piercing stare right through my body. Perhaps this wasn't a good idea after all. Mind if I paint your ship? Just say nothing if it's alright with you. Dot dot dot. Maybe you're hungry? Johnny, help me out here. You're doing just fine, mate. Do you want a dogfight? We could have a go. Dot dot dot. Ah, forget it. Maybe another time. For the life of me, I could not figure out Mare. I enjoyed talking to him. Ah, Deuce, what brings you here? Yo, I just wanted to ask, why did you become a pirate anyway? Bamboo was predominantly anti-Federation. The whole planet basically supported the pirates, so naturally I became a pirate. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Why do you guys hate the Feds? We Pandakin greatly enjoy personal freedoms. The Federation became paranoid and started restricting people's rights. Their excessive militarization also ensured that we would not support the Federation. We didn't actually hate the Federation, we just didn't support their policies. Therefore, we ended up being a headquarters of sorts for pirates. How did you guys get so good at shooting? We probably had the biggest stockpile of weapons out of any planet despite our peace-loving nature. The idea was to never use them. Better that we have them than let our enemies have them, right? Unfortunately, we ended up needing those weapons many times when various factions tried to strong-arm us into supporting them. It's hard to earn peace without having to fight for it. We ended up being one of the most secure planets around. Weapons training became standard for our youth. Wow, you guys are like peaceful, trained killers. Yep, so don't get us mad, or we'll put a bullet in your eye from halfway across the star system. I'll keep that in mind. You're probably wondering what about Deadeye's weird restocking procedures. She restocks her weapons every time you leave combat. Consider escaping combat to get that weapon you want. Good day, Deuce. Oh, hey there, Ginny. What are you doing here? Miss Deadeye asked me to help her in making her latest weapon. Speaking of which, where is she? She seems to have stepped out for a coffee break with the captain. Ugh, figures. Miss Deadeye asked me to tell you about the Crush Forward Missile System. Despite being an explosive projectile weapon, the Crush Missile Launcher is considered a gun. They fire slowly, but they detonate upon impact, damaging multiple targets in a small radius. The range isn't terribly great, but the damage output is fairly high, and can clear masses of enemies. She might have an upgrade in stock. We should check. Oh, okay, I hope Deadeye isn't giving you too much trouble. Oh, not at all. She was difficult at first, but she's just extremely interested in her job. Wow, level 6? I'm gonna upgrade my laser. I'm gonna just hop into combat and then hop out real quick until I get a, pause, I think is what I want. Yep. Until she gets a better level of that weapon for me. And now there's no weapon. I want to kill at least one thing so I can get some money. Take it too long. Weapons lab? A level 4? We went down. This kind of sucks. Can I kill something here at least? Oh, come on. There we go, I have to kill some things. I can't even get up there to kill that one. Oh, crap. That's not what I meant to click. She probably, you know, in that time we'll never get to see it, she probably sold nothing but the best weapons possible. Alright. I do need to see if she has one better upgrade. Because I do want to try using that weapon. I think I enjoy that weapon. There we go, now she's got 18s. That cost me a boatload of money, but anyway. I'm gonna do the acid swamp just for some grinding again. And to test my new weapon. Yeah! So anyway, I worked as a grocery store supervisor. Not real management, but like sub-management, if you will. And I think everybody should work dealing with the public at some point in their life, because you do learn things. The public has like certain misconceptions about how a lot of things work, and I've realized this by like listening to my family talk about their shopping experiences and stuff like that too. Where I realized that like really the public has like unrealistic expectations of a lot of things, which I think ultimately harms the public in a lot of ways. You know, I was reading, to just go off on a slight tangent here, I was reading an article about how, like, for those who don't know, like, millennials are the new, like, generation, you know, it's like the baby boomers. By the way, this could be limited specifically to Americans, I honestly don't know. Millennials are the, like, youthful generation of Americans. I'm kind of right on the cusp of being a millennial and being the generation before that, which I can't remember what it's called. But, like, millennials are the generation that, like, grew up with computers and things like that. They're generally considered horrible, by the way. I'm glad I've picked up, like, I have most of the traits of a millennial, but not all of them. Which probably means most of my potential viewers are younger than me, but what can you do? So yeah, like, apparently millennials love, like, customizable options in their food and healthier stuff, and, like, they don't like GMOs, which stands for genetically modified organisms. They don't like, you know, they like organic things and stuff like that. So it's like all these stores are trying to cater to millennials because, you know, millennials are like the new wave and everything. So like Pizza Hut's got these new pizzas with all these like fancy toppings, and, you know, McDonald's made a whole new menu full of like customizable options, and generally it's like increased costs of these stores. Okay, this is not the weapon I want for the Wisp, by the way. It's increased operating costs for these stores. It's made it, like, harder for them to, you know, make any type of sales. It's slowed things down. It just, in general, it's been, like, a bad investment for the stores. And it hasn't even brought in the additional millennials, because as it turns out, millennials are all lying crap sacks. I know. You millennials that are watching my video probably don't want to hear that. Although, again, I'm technically part of your generation. Yeah, the thing is that millennials also tend to have no money. And when it comes down to it, between all those customizable, non-organic, or, I'm sorry, non-GMO organic options, the dollar menu is what they can actually afford. So all these stores are trying to cater to millennials. And then millennials are still like, yeah, I definitely want customizable options, but you know, instead I want to buy the cheapest thing I can get because that's all I can afford. But they keep saying that those things are most important because they're really concerned about like appearances, which isn't like a new thing for humanity, but whatever. So anyway, I brought that up because that's kind of how like grocery stores work, where people have these like unrealistic expectations. My grandmother, who I talk to a lot, is like the worst for this, I think. That was some kicky lag right there. Ah, crap. I want to turn the quality down, not up. There we go. I really don't notice any difference, but maybe it'll make the gameplay a little bit better. But yeah, my grandmother, sweet little lady she is always like, oh my god, they rang me up the wrong item. It must have been intentional. I'm like, it definitely was not intentional. Like, you might not know this, and again, I speak only for, like, American companies and stuff like that. But your cashier actually has pretty much zero control over the price of an item. You come through, let's say I'm your cashier, right? You come through my line with a thing of, I don't know. I don't even know. You're coming through with, like, a pound, or a 5-pound bag of sugar, right? I scan the barcode on that, and the computer puts out a price. I don't input a price myself. Now, back in the day, I don't know when they stopped, but yeah, there was a point in time, and some people might still be alive and know this point in time, where cashiers actually inputted a price, where products had a price tag attached to them, and the cashier had to look at that price tag and go, okay, this is 50 cents, and type in 50 cents into the cash register. Those times ended a long, 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 long time ago. Now you just scan the barcode, and the computer like looks through a database, reads the numbers off of the barcode essentially, and then goes, okay, 5-pound bag of generic store brand sugar, $1.98. Okay, real quick, this is an interesting boss, and that you have to shoot the green spot. And after you shoot the green spot, the green shot moves. The green spot moves. So, the, like, rapid fire laser is kind of not the best option here. And instead a, like, deal large amounts of single damage weapon is kind of the better option here. Sort of. There we go. Oh, cool, we got a new skill. Kitsune Cloak. 5 chance to cloak, negating damage. Rapid reload. Increases the firing rate of secondary weapons. Fires a spread shot up and down when firing. Let's go with rapid reload. Cutscene time. There's a large fluctuation in space forming near our position. I think it's a capital ship. The firebolt? No, start charging the jump drives immediately. Condition red. What is it? The earth wall is here. Again, how the heck did they manage to get so close to us before detection? I think I may know how they're doing it. However, now is not the time to discuss it. We're on full alert. I fear we may not escape this one. The earth wall is equipped with jump interdictors, which greatly inhibit jump attempts. It's highly likely we must face them head on, but that's suicide. Shouldn't we order evacuation like last time? No, this time I have a plan. Are these the coordinates? That's Gen. Ensign. Yes, sir. Scan shown unmarked capital ship straight ahead. It seems the red captain was correct. I will deal with this matter personally. It's not my wish to shed unnecessary blood. Understood, sir. We're disengaging from jump. This is Captain Gen of the Federation battlecruiser Earthwall. This is Captain Oracle of the mothership. Fancy meeting you here, Gen. Orica? What are you doing here? You mean you came here without knowing who was parked here? We were merely given a tip that a pirate lord was sighted. I didn't expect the great pirate lord Orica herself would be here. I thought you could predict movements and run. Pirate lord? I'll explain later. Again, there's something at work here that threatens all of us. What is the meaning of this? It didn't hit me until just now, but it's starting to make sense. You aren't here by coincidence. Someone is intent on killing both of us. We need to get out of here. I'm afraid I don't follow. Besides, the earth wall has never been defeated. Even the firebolt cannot damage us. Stubborn man. Why must I always prove my point to you? Forgive me for being so bold, but your claim is rather far-fetched. I have little reason to fear an ambush. I shall prove to you just how ineffective your defenses are. Again, we will challenge your entire ship with a single fighter. Captain? Orca, we're well aware that you are charging your jump drives and that you are no match for us. I cannot let you go this time either, as I'm being monitored. As I understand it, you only need me and not my ship, correct? That is correct. Elimination of the pirate lords is our only objective. Then I will be aboard that fighter with a fellow pilot. You beat us and you secure your objective. Orca, don't do this. Come peacefully and your ship can escape. I may be able to grant you a prison sentence as opposed to death. Do not underestimate our capabilities again. We will defeat you with just one fighter. You're running out of time, but if you insist on boarding this miraculous fighter, we will concentrate all firepower on you. That's what I'm counting on. End transmission. Interesting plan you got there, Granny. It'll work, but even if it doesn't, you'll be safe except for me and the commander. Yeah, that's... Wait, me? Of course, you're gonna be my pilot. Why not Mare? Isn't Mare more suited to this sort of thing? No, the vortex cannons on Mare's ship would inflict too much damage when they break through the shields. Similarly, I cannot bring the mothership into combat, as this ship is a large target, and I do not intend to risk injuring the crew if I can avoid it. Do not worry. I know what I'm doing. As ludicrous as I may appear, I ask you to trust me now. I've set our jump drives to automatically discharge as soon as they are ready. Even if the commander and I do not make it back in time, you are all to leave us. Granny. I can say this with certainty. If we remain here, we will soon face a bigger threat, that's all. Swig, before we go I need to talk to you. I'm afraid I need to call in a favor. That bad, huh? They're not gonna like it. Oracle and Swig began whispering. I've never seen Swig's expression switch to a serious bear frown. Swig handed something to the captain. Oracle then closed her eyes and started concentrating. Then she handed back whatever it was to Swig. So, Captain, not that I don't trust you, but I don't see the sanity in this plan. The Earth Wall is known for its possession of a nigh impenetrable shield. Even the firebolt can't normally penetrate it. Yeah, that gives me a lot of comfort. Don't worry, Commander. I came to the realization a short while ago. I've no doubt the Federation is after these star fragments. The possession of 2 of them has shown me that I can predict with even greater accuracy. I can already foresee their shield frequencies clear as day, and your fighter will be able to harm the Earth wall. All you really need to do is disable their jump interdictor. But I imagine we'll need to punch through the rest of their ship. But you couldn't even predict that they would be coming until they were practically on us. About that, I figured out that someone out there has been using star fragments. That is why I cannot predict their movements. They possess a supernatural power I cannot predict. Alright, well, even if we can penetrate their shields, they still have capital-grade weapon systems aboard that thing. The Earth Wall was designed for defense against large-scale ships, not small fighters. Thus, their weapons are large and powerful, but slow. The weapon systems are still dangerous, of course, but they shouldn't be too difficult to dodge. Okay, I feel a little better. Care to tell me about the whole Pirate Lord bit? I suppose the cat's out of the bag. You heard correctly, I'm a Pirate Lord, though unlike the other Pirate Lords, I chose to remain hidden from the start. Back when the pirates formed, they needed a leader to help focus direction. The pirates took note of my uncanny prediction abilities and nominated me as the leader. Thus, I became the Pirate Lord of the star system. During one of our annual Pirate Lords gatherings, a mysterious light approached us. 7 star fragments suddenly lay on the table, and we had no idea what they were. We scanned them over and over, but all signs told us they were nothing but simple iron. They seemed harmless enough, so we divided them conveniently into 7 ways. My precognition was poorly developed at the time, so I had no idea how much the fragments amplified it. A few years ago, someone in the Federation started targeting us Pirate Lords. In short time, 2 Pirate Lords were dispatched with seemingly no difficulty. Hearing news of this, the rest of us joined me in hiding. None of us realized this person must have devised a way to track our star fragments. Undoubtedly surprised at being tracked down so easily, I believe Pirate Lord Kitsune came to warn us, but got shot down by the firebolt, at which point the firebolt came after us. You mean that corpse we found a while ago? She was a Pirate Lord? Yes, she specialized in evasion. Her fox-kind race is only one to have developed and possess cloaking technology. After she was attacked by the firebolt, she tried to warn us. Federation ambush, beware the star fragments can be tracked. Kitsune's ship crash landed on this planet, remaining partially cloaked, and the firebolt deployed all those drones to look for the star fragment. I still don't know what these star fragments are, but they seem to augment my precognition considerably. If there's someone else out there who can use them, I fear what they would be capable of with all 7 pieces. Deuce, we must not let that happen. Do not let the Federation obtain the star fragments. Well, shouldn't we leave the fragments on board instead of taking them with us? No, I'll be needing them to decipher the Earthwall's shield rotations. Alright, I still think this is a crazy plan. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell the crew about all that. That was an awful lot to swallow, but why not let the crew know about it? Someone close to you will take rash action if they find out. You will not like the end result. If your vision is as clear as you say it is, alright then, let's do this. Before we head out, make sure you handle your final preparations. Aye, Captain. Captain Oracle. I realize now was a poor time to be thinking about her, but all I could think about was how she had taken care of us all these years. Ever since I'd known her, she was this gentle yet sometimes stern old granny. When Tessa Swig and I came to this ship so many years ago, I was frightened to death of the hooded woman in the command chair. The first thing she did was give us a hug, grieving the loss of her old home. She taught and mothered us into maturity. Together with Swig, they were like an aunt and uncle, keeping watch over us. When I wandered my way into the bridge by accident, she let me sit in the command chair and taught me how to operate the ship. When I first saw the fighter, she encouraged me to take up flying. Imagine my surprise to learn she'd been a Pirate Lord all these years. There were rumors of a mastermind Pirate Lord who was a brilliant schemer, able to outthink any Federation ploy used against her. I suppose it made sense that Captain Oracle was merely using precognition all this time. Still, most people imagine a ruthless battle technician, not some gentle old lady. I always trusted her to this day. I'll continue to do so, whatever that may lead to. Earthwall. First, though, level up. Agility just overtook defense. Deadeye. Back for more, hun? Sure, so Deadeye. Why do you like making weapons? That's a strange question. What's so strange about it? Why does Tessa like treating people? Why does Swig like shooting? Because we like to. I don't think that's really the reason others do their jobs. Well, why do you pilot your ship? Because you like to. Am I wrong? I can't say that's wrong, but it's not the only reason I'm a pilot. I want to defend the space, just like everyone else. Well, there you go. I make these weapons to protect my home. But what else drives you? I know there's more to it than you're letting on. Good eyes. Let's just say I'm curious. Curious? There's so much we haven't discovered yet. So many ways to apply science. So many ways to reshape existing ideas. Science isn't just a means to benefit people. It's a beautiful art to be discovered and harnessed. Isn't that also why you pilot your ship? To express yourself in an environment you feel natural in? Wow. I never took you for the expressive type. The same goes for everyone else on the ship, I'm sure. Their jobs are a way to express themselves. You know, for someone so young, you know a lot. Let's just say I've been through a lot. Must be a hell of a life. Oops, I need to get going. Don't be a stranger, hun. Yep, later. Let's talk to Ginny, I suppose. Ginny, Swig, what are you two up to? Pardon us, we are engaging in a drinking battle. A what? This girl can really hold her own. In just a few days, she's developed the tolerance of a master. That's crazy! I'm almost at my limit. Plop. Hooray, I won! I've never seen anybody beat Swig. To be fair, I'm gonna feel horrible tomorrow. Plop. Great, now they're both dead. Okay, everyone, show's over. Nothing to see here. What is this? These two got in a drinking contest, and, well, now we have two corpses. Unbelievable. Fortunately, they're not too out of it. They'll recover soon. That's good to hear. Swig's almost as good as sending people here as Deadeye. Honestly, I'm surrounded by children. So, Deuce, do you like Ginny? What? Sure I do. That's not what I mean. Do you like her? I don't know. What do you think of her? She's a good person, but she seems to keep a wall around her. That's hard to get past. You think so? Yeah, something's bothering her, but she won't tell me. Well, treat her well. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Tessa. Ask Johnny time. That's Captain Gen. The Federation is hardly a... That's Captain Gen. The Federation is hardly a single evil entity. If ever there was a man to prove it, it's Gen. Our sides may differ, but we understand and often turn a blind eye to each other. It's unfortunate that we must meet in these circumstances. The Earthwall is a ship designed for defense. As such, its armament is rather weak compared to most Federation capital ships. The Earthwall only has weaponry designed for engaging large-scale ships. If you can steer clear of them, the Earthwall won't pose as much of a threat. I don't know what sort of plan the captain's cooked up, but I'm going to put my faith in you. Oh, hello, Mr. Deuce! I have a new mod for you. The accuracy mod increases your gun accuracy by 1, stacking with your accuracy stat, modified by the weapon select. Accuracy decreases the chance of grazing hits, which inflict half damage. Some weapons have naturally higher accuracy values, so take that into consideration. Given the sensitive nature of this equipment, there's a limit to how many you can install. No new weapons, though. I'm not gonna buy new weapons. I'm gonna max out my my accuracy mod, though. Well, I wanted to continue ranting about like working with the public, but so I'll finish that comment super quick while I do a loot run through the hidden ruins again. So yeah, though, like my grandmother's always complaining about how she thinks like the cashier's going out of the way to screw her, but I'm trying to explain to her like that's not actually possible. Your cashier has no control over the price of the items, is what I was saying. Now, the cashier can definitely mess up and double scan a product. That can definitely happen. And with produce, for example, most produce doesn't have a barcode. It has what's called a product lookup code, or it might be produce lookup code. I can't remember. It's PLU, though. And each piece of produce has its own. I don't know how universal they are. At least in my store, it's like bananas are 4011. So you put your bananas on the scale, you type in 4011, and it comes up bananas. Cucumbers, I think, are 4062. Like green grapes are 4022, red grapes are 4023, and so on. It's not super important that we know these, but anyway. On a side note, I always joked about how I would remember those PLUs like until the rest of my life, and that I wouldn't be able to remember other facts, like I'd like forget children's birthdays or something, but I would still remember the code for like cabbage. But to be honest, I've forgotten a large amount of them. Anyway, so yeah, a potential way that a cashier could accidentally or intentionally screw you over with those is like take actually a better one that I know is onions. Actually, take onions. There are, at least again in my area, there are red onions, white onions, yellow onions, and sweet onions. And the sweet onions are usually called Vidalia onions. And all four of them have different codes. However, at around late summer and fall time, our store would get like Spanish, what they were called were Mayan onions. And we got them instead of Vidalias. And because like recording sales is actually like an important thing, you have to make sure you put the right barcode in, or the right PLU in this case. So, you know, when somebody would come in with the onions, you'd have to put the right, you know, the right code, Vidalia or whatever. Well, come fall, summertime, we wouldn't have Vidalias anymore, we would have the Mayan sweets. Mayan sweets, if you will. I don't really know how that word's pronounced. Pronunciation of things is not my strong suit, I have to tell you guys. Anyway, so if your cashier didn't realize that and put the wrong code in, they might still be putting the Vidalia onion code in, because that's what they've always put in. But your Mayans might have been on sale for maybe only $1 a pound, while the normal price is $2 a pound. So that's one potential way that you could kind of get screwed out of a deal. But it's not too common, to be honest. Alright, I'm going to save and quit here. Save the Earth Wall for next time, if that's cool for everybody. Maybe in another video I'll continue relaying some tales of my times at the grocery store, because I have some good stories. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Like, favorite, comment, subscribe.